Hi guys, I'm Aimee DeRoehn of Refuge Yoga, and I wanted to invite you to do a home practice with me. I wanted to make these really every day for like a handful of weeks, so it's really annoyed my loved ones, I'm sure, because every day I'm like, I'm gonna make a video. And I realized I got very, very comfortable doing a lot of audio work over the last like 5 years and really shied away from video. So I invite you to pull yourself out from behind the curtain of wherever you're shying away in your life and meet me on my mat, and I'll meet you on your mat in your home, wherever you are. I just want to give a huge shout out to all the yoga teachers that were so ballsy enough to put themselves out there and to really step up into service. I think it's a real message for all of us in a pandemic, especially, to let our hunger to be in service be bigger than our nervousness. So I can say that to you, or I can preach that to you, or I can actually just say, hey, I felt pretty vulnerable just coming out today, and yet here I am, because my want to be in service to you, not just in your practice and not just in your strength and your flexibility and, you know, refining your yoga poses, but my wanting to come out and support you with whatever you have going on in your life. We're all in the middle of a pandemic, and yet our individual lives didn't stop. So I just want to support you and really walk with you in whatever it is you're navigating through, and in your personal life. A shout out to all the yoga teachers that have been in service. We are being called to the front lines as a humanity, I think, as a global family, you know, to really take strength and flexibility as a practice off the mat into our lives. If you weren't doing that already, this yoga thing's not just a concept, it really wants to be a concrete way that you live your life. And so we show up, we breathe, we move, we exhale so that we can free up the tension and where we feel gripped in the grits of our lives, and surprise, but the grace is underneath all of that grit. So let's just practice and remind yourself that I am not just offering you a practice, I'm offering you support in just for you as a person, as a human being in the world, for whatever it is that you're getting out of bed and showing up and trying to navigate through. Let's do a down dog. Bring your hands shoulder width apart. Be on your knees for a second, okay? And then curl your toes under, stick your booty right on up, and then take a breath in. Stretch your chest up with me, lift your gaze, drop your belly. And when you breathe out, press chest right towards your front thighs. Feet are hip width apart. You're gonna inhale, you're gonna pull the heels high. You're gonna exhale them toward the floor. I want a soft bend in your knees because it's your first down dog, you know? So there's nothing to prove. It's okay to show up tight. It's okay to show up tired. It's even okay to show up, you know, feeling great or feeling worried, like you just show up and you just let yourself be with what's showing up with you. Heels lift them. Empty the breath, they press down. Bend your right knee. Really squeeze your left thigh. Squeeze your shin into your calf and your heel toward the floor. Head drops. Butt sticks way up. Switch it up. Bend the left knee. As you bend that left knee, exhale your right heel toward the ground. Squeeze up your right thigh. Press your shin towards your calf.
your quad towards your hamstring and your heel toward the ground. Every time you exhale, that's going to be that secret sauce to kind of untying some of the knots, some of the tension in the musculature. And then just walk it out. Bend one knee, maybe get your hips in on it a little bit. The practice is pretty amazing because when you show up, you're like, it's not just like what Shakira said about my hips don't lie. It's like the body just doesn't lie. The more you exhale, the more you'll feel not just free from tension or stress or, fatigue or whatever. Bring yourself up halfway, take a breath in. But every exhalation unties all the ropes, not just in the physicality, but in the mind. And boom, underneath all that is your truth, the wisdom of your own body, the natural intelligence you have. Let your hips sway side to side. I want your chest right into your thighs, okay? And I want you to bend your knees a ton. Go ahead, you're going to bring your feet together. You're going to pull down your shirt if you need to. You're going to grab onto your ankles. You're going to inhale, lift up, pull your chest like you're lifting it away from the floor, and then move your shoulders back away from your ears. Lots of length through the spine, knees super bent. Empty the breath, you're going to fold right in. You're going to hug in your core. You're going to bend your knees a lot. You're going to push your feet like you're driving them through the floor. Just let your upper body hang. Head drops. You're going to lift up a little at a time, one vertebrae at a time, stacking on top of the other. And it's like your head is the period at the end of the sentence. Shoulders are coming up and around and down your back. Okay. You're going to inhale, reach up. And as you look up, don't forget your foundation. So find your feet again, bend your knees, push the soles of your feet into your floor, into your mat. And as you press down, then the upper body will naturally lift. Empty all the air, and that's how you're going to fold. You're going to inhale, lift halfway up. Shoulders are back. You want to bend the knees so much. I like to tell my students to press the hands, your hands, into the front shins. It's a way to send your tailbone back. Your spine and chest lengthen out. Move your shoulders down so your collarbones get some sunlight. Empty the breath. Slide your hands straight down. Grab onto your ankles or wrap your arms around the backs of your calves. Empty the breath completely and you'll soften upper body into your legs. Inhale, all the air is coming in. You're pulling all the air into your lungs. So plummet in, reach high. Empty all the air. Hands to the heart. Even just that little bit you've done tremendous service for you and everyone around you, and does your body good. Inhale, reach up. Lift your gaze, look up, press your feet into the floor, squeeze up your thighs. Empty all the air. I want super bend in your knees. Fold. Inhale, halfway up. Flat back. Empty the breath. Bring your hands to the ground. Take your knees down too, so you're right into a tabletop. You're going to inhale as you drop your belly. Just really let your belly sink. Look up. Empty every bit of your air as you press chin to chest. Hug the belly into your spine, tailbone toward feet. Again, remind yourself, press your hands right through the floor for the upper back to get that extra leverage in the stretch. Pause it here. Enjoy that stretch. Like you find something good, don't just race through, Inhale, drop your belly, look up. Exhale, press chin into your chest, belly into your spine, tailbone lengthening toward your heels. Drop your belly. You're going to take your right leg straight back behind you. And just press like crazy through that heel while the whole front leg squeezes. The muscle just squeezes the bone. Remember, the bones came first. Really good. Go ahead, you're gonna bend this knee. You're gonna flex this right foot. And if you possibly can, you're gonna use your core right now. So just sort of fasten your seatbelt right here. Take your left hand, reach around, grab hold of the top of your right foot. Press that foot into the hand. Pull the chest, stretch it up. Exhale, knee to the floor. Go ahead, left side. Take that left leg straight back on the floor. You're on the ball of that foot. You're gonna squeeze up that left leg completely. You're gonna exhale. Take another breath in. Dump that breath, all of it out. As soon as we get stretch through the legs, not just strength, but a release of the tension in the legs, tightness in the legs, we'll feel more grounded. Bend this knee, flex this foot. Get your core really pulled in, like really pull in the middle, man. Take your right hand, stretch back, catch hold of that left foot. Press your heart toward the wall in front of you, kick your top foot back. Bring that down. You're gonna keep your hands on the ground, keep your knees on the ground. Let your body move around. So if you're not sure where to go, just move. That's something like, I can't tell you how many times in my life I've been really nervous about making a decision, so I've been so indecisive, and as a result, I'll freeze up. And then it feels impossible to move, you know? Then you get in your head and you overthink, well, what should I do? Where should I go? How can this work? And your body's just like, don't overthink it, man. Just start moving. And suddenly you're releasing tension. And as you free up tension, where your body knows that you're holding it, there's a little extra space. And then somehow you intuitively know, oh, I just go with the flow where my body is telling me to go. And somehow, like, it all gets figured out. That wisdom within yourself will help you figure it out. And then we have a practice. We get on our mat and we don't just practice yoga, but we practice not just strengthening our intuition, but trusting it. So there's no rule here. Your body is like, I know exactly where I need to be stretched. Just move around and then I'll let you know by the feel. Okay. Down dog. Walk. And when you walk, take your time. Like, take your time. Like, this practice is like, man, this is good stuff. So, like, enjoy it, you know? Bring your hands to your front legs. Take a breath in. Empty all the air, chest into your thighs. Let your head get really heavy. Pull your shoulders away from the ears. Big breath in. You're going to pull the air into your lungs. So plummet in. Empty the breath, forward fold. You're going to inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, you're going to step back into a push-up. Take this first one down on your knees, even if you're like, but I'm so good at chaturanga now. Go back to being a beginner. Knees to the floor, just for a sec, okay? Maybe take your knees a little bit behind your hips. And then all you're going to do is inhale as you rock forward. And right there, the hydraulics are set up where the chest is right there past the arms. Exhale, bend your elbows, hug in your core, empty the breath lower, halfway. You don't want your shoulders to dip past those elbows. You'll come to me later, you'll email me in a big, and have a big hissy fit and go, why are my shoulders hurting? You want to keep the alignment, shoulders with the elbows. Right from there, tops of your feet press down. Inhale, up dog. You're thinking, I press my shoulders back. And it's like you're pulling your hips a little more forward, almost like you're pulling the mat out from underneath you. Exhale, curl your toes under. Start breathing out right here, right now. Then drop your eyes right between your feet. Easy breath in. Empty it out, easy. Belly in. Easy breath in. Press your chest towards your thighs. Get all the air out, free and clear. Inhale, one more. Now just sigh it out with me. Never worry about how you sound in a practice with me. Trust that the nervous system loves that sound. Inhale, halfway. Do it again. Inhale, press up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Get all the air out. As you step back to high push-up, now you're gonna show off your moves, right? If you can do push-up with straight legs, go for it. Otherwise, take your knees to the floor. Sometimes less is more. Go ahead, you're gonna press like crazy through the heels. You're gonna squeeze up your legs. You're gonna squeeze in your core while your tailbone tilts toward towards your feet. Put your chin off away from your chest. Take a breath in. Yes, it is difficult to talk while I'm in this. Exhale, rocking forward on the balls of the feet. Bend those elbows, hug them to your sides, lower. Inhale, press up. Curl the toes under, push the air out, down dog. When you get all the air out, like free and clear, it's not just that your body feels better and your head feels more settled and your emotional closet doesn't feel so rumpled. It's just so much easier to be patient and present and kind. And you're really going to tune into listening to the people you love around you. When you actually let yourself hear yourself, breathe in and breathe out. Like, that's not a selfish practice, it's selfless. Walk up, feet to hands. When you let yourself hear yourself breathe and really tune into it, exhale, fold. The way you listen to everybody changes. Empty the breath, pull your hands right to your heart. Like this practice of pandemic. We're all in close quarters with each other. Bend your knees and reach up. Sit your hips a little lower as you breathe out. You're going to press your shins back and you're going to pull your toes up. And when you inhale, your upper body's reaching up. And when you exhale, you're going to let your hips kind of sink into your fire a little bit more. Like gravity can always pull us down, it's grace that will lift us up. Put your gaze on one place and breathe. Exhale, sink lower. Breathe in. Breathe all the air out, fold. Halfway up. Step back. And lower. Upward dog. Just press your shoulders back. Tops of your feet are on the ground. Now just practice. What is it to just press my heart out there a little bit more? We're all told we have to stay home. So we're around the people we live with all the time. And I keep hearing about people getting frustrated because their kids are home from school and they're working from home and they're with their spouse and everybody like more in close quarters. Use your practice to really unplug from that a little bit, get some breath, get some movement, and you'll realize like, oh, there was a shift when I come back to my family. And really, when you serve up love, when you serve up patience, when you serve up listening, when you serve up practicing being more attentive, do it at home. Start there. Empty out. Use the pandemic to be in close quarters and to become more connected. To yourself and the ones you're with all the time, day in and day out. Walk up, feet to hands. Fold. Bend your knee, sit low, reach up. Bring your hands right to your heart. Fold. Halfway up. High plank. Look forward, lower. Inhale, press the feet, press the palms. Empty out, press straight back. Right foot stepping forward. Back foot's pressing flat. Inhale, reach up. You're going to press that right knee open. Oftentimes when the hip is tight, you know the knee will cave in. So you're going to really mindfully press it open to the little toe side. You're going to press like crazy through the outer edge of that back foot. Squeeze up that back leg. You want to put a little bend in that front knee, or straighten the front leg for a minute. And just find that action of tilting your tailbone a little toward the floor. And then reach up. As you breathe out, go back. Reach up. Look straight ahead. Bend your knees, sink your hips a little more. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull the hands strongly right through the heart. Empty the breath, all of it. Back to the floor. Let's do a little more. High push up, big breath in. Empty it all. Inhale up. Exhale it out. Take your left foot forward. Press your back foot down. Especially if you're practicing on a carpet at all, like myself, you want to really make sure you got a good foundation of feet. Root them down, then come up. Same action. Knee over the ankle. Press it open. Reach up. Squeeze your back leg. Arms are reaching. Shoulders get to drop. When you breathe out, all the things that have just had you held up start to soften up. Breathe in, reach. Empty out, go back. Breathe in, come up. Eyes on one place. 5, 4, 3, sink a little lower, 2, empty the breath, hands to heart, hands to the floor. High push up, lower, upward, downward. Take a breath in and a clearing breath out. Bring your feet together. Inhale all the way up, right leg high. Bend the knee. Help out the hips a little more, create more space by taking a giant circle with the knee. And when your head is down in your down dog, more than likely you'll think like, oh, there's some dust in that corner. Oh, I could straighten out those magazines. Oh, should I even be practicing right now? Yes, yes, yes. All that can get taken care of. Big circle with that knee. And it's not always easy to have a home practice. It's not easy to have a home practice and go, wow, I really struggle to get on my mat. Breathe. Breathe through whatever comes up. Roll that hip down, foot to the floor. Left leg. Big inhale, lengthen it. Big exhale, bend the knee. Roll open. Head's dropping. Inhale, big circles on that left side. Go low, go low, go low. Go up. Go low, go low, go low. Big circle. Roll the hip down, foot to the ground. Walk up. Halfway. Fold. Come on, bend your knees, sweep up. Big breath out, fold. Halfway. push up. You can always do some in your fists, shoulders over the wrists. Rock forward, empty. Upward dog. Down facing. You're going to step your right foot forward, back foot down, arms reach, warrior one, right into warrior two. You're going to gaze at your right middle finger, and then you're purposely going to flip your arms, palms to the ceiling, take them up high, scrunch them right up under your shoulders. Notice you will struggle to get the air out. Notice when you exhale, those arms want to drop, so shoulders want to drop. Take your back arm, wrap it around your back. Press your front knee, open. Reverse your warrior. Your yoga practice can be a beautiful way to make your home feel homier. And your practice, bring your right hand elbow to your right thigh. Your practice will get you strong, will create more flexibility. But my hope is this practice leaves you feeling a little bit better in your own skin. Every time you exhale, that left shoulder is just rolling back. The more you free up the exhalation, the more you can allow yourself to drop into more peace on the inside of you. You can let things roll off your back. In the middle of a big global crisis, like, how is that possible? It's possible because our peace is inside us. We can show up on our mat and life can make us feel like it's all going to pieces, and I understand that well. But there's a wellspring of peace inside each and every one of us. And our practice just is kind of a platform for me to get there. And then I thought, other people need this. Hands to the floor. Lower down, breathe out. Up facing, big breath in. Empty it all. Left foot, warrior one. Back foot, press it down, reach up on the breath in. Warrior two. Gaze is on your left middle finger. Turn your palms, turn your arms up. You want to feel like you're almost being pulled apart at each wrist. And then exhale, drop your arms down a little lower. Sink your hips a little lower. Now to sink and go a little deeper in a pose, you have to breathe. Take your right arm, wrap it around. Reverse your warrior. I don't know about you, but I struggle to breathe in crisis. Bend this left elbow, press your palm right against the back of your head. I struggle to breathe when I'm afraid, when I'm anxious. Bring this front arm to your front thigh. You already have your arm wrapped around your back, or you can take it right up. The practice has helped remind me to exhale. And that is a really vulnerable thing in crisis, you know? In fear, in worry, in helplessness, to exhale, that's way too vulnerable. Sometimes our vulnerability can feel like a giant threat. We'll practice breathing out through whatever is making you hold your breath. Release. Bring your hands down, high to low. Sweep up. And then sweep the air right out. You exhale out a bunch in the beginning of practice. That's when you start getting a little looser. And that's when you realize, oh, I can get more air. You just had to get what was in the way out. Walk up. Halfway lift, breathe in. Empty all the breath, chest into your thighs, bend the knees a ton. Head just drops. your practice, right now there's a forward bend. It's an opportunity for your legs, the back of your legs, to get some opening, to get some sunlight. As you start picking up your hips gently toward the ceiling, you get a little more intense stretch, but keep the knees super bent. But it's also an opportunity to soothe the nervous system by being in a forward bend. And it's an opportunity to go inward. No matter what's going on in your life, there's still some deeper place inside you, inside me, where everything's really okay. Even when it feels like, no, it's not. And start. Eagle pose, sweep up. Exhale, right arm's coming under the left. Bend the knees. Right leg's gonna squeeze on top. You could always bring the toes of your right foot to the floor. I want you to pull the arms up. Exhale, lower them. Now pull them up. Have your elbows in line with your shoulders. Push your upper mid back into the wall behind you, and your forearms like you're pushing them into the front wall. Get that great stretch to the middle back. As you exhale and you free up tension and tightness where it's all contracted in the middle back, you'll breathe easier in the front. Reach up. Empty out. Left arm. If your shoulders are really tight, by the way, you have options. And opposite hand, opposite shoulder. Take the left leg, squeeze it on top. Inhale, pull the arms up, almost like the arms are being breathed. Empty. Inhale. Push the arms away from your face, upper mid back, push it away, belly tight. Shoulders stack over the hips. Sweep up. Hands to heart. Inhale, left arm going high. I'd like a big giant circle with the right arm. Take another. Empty the breath as you're lowering. Reach back, catch hold of your right foot. Bring your knees toward each other. You can bend this left knee, why not? Hug in your core. Kick that upper leg back into your backhand. Press your chest toward the front wall. Eyes on one place, eye level. Release. On the out breath. On the in breath, sweep up. Right arms alongside your head. Big circle. Get that great stretch through the upper pec. Catch hold. Oh God, no hands. Reach up. Free the breath, release the leg. Tree pose. I'll step off the carpet for a minute and I'll just come onto the flatter carpet and then we'll see what we got. Let's actually do a little flow into tree. So you're gonna pull your right leg up, hug your knee right into your chest. Have left hand on the left hip. You're gonna look eye level and you're just gonna open it up. It's like your inner thigh is just rolling open. Keep the hip and the knee pretty much in alignment. Bring it back. Sweep the arms up. Big exhale out. Right leg straight back. Sweep the arms back. You want to lift your chest higher than your hips. You don't want to look straight down, like you'll nose dive right down an airplane, but you look a little out in front of you. Hug your arms towards your sides. I'd squeeze your shoulder blades into your middle back. Bring yourself on up. Right into tree. This is a home practice, by the way, so if you're struggling with balance, go to a wall. Go to your counter. Have a glass of wine after your practice. A little vino with your vinyasa. You're going to press your palms together. Your shoulders move back. And if you're like, oh, I'm not balancing in tree, if you don't feel like an oak tree and you're more like a baby willow tree, bring your foot lower. But if you can, you must. And the secret is you got 2 legs, you got 2 feet. Where you want to press the sole of the foot into the inner thigh and the inner thigh into the foot. You know, 2 are better than 1. And then you're like, oh yeah. Your left leg will feel the support. And when you have support and you have stability, you feel freer. Release. Take that foot down. Now what did we do on the left side? I swear I didn't start drinking the wine yet. I'll figure it out. Pull that left knee up. Right hand on the right hip. What helps me is I squeeze my elbow into my side. I catch hold. And then I squeeze up this right leg. You squeeze up yours. Empty the breath as you roll open. You could take your right arm out. Your gaze could fall right along the line to that right wall. You don't have to, but I will tell you this. If you are breathing in a pretty steady, fluid way, you're going to have more physical balance. Why? Because there's an energy. Your energy is more drawn inward. Sweep up. As you breathe out, get ready to press that leg straight back. Arms straight back. Palms face down. And you're going to tip your chin in a little so you look out ahead of you. Bend that knee, bring it back up. Ooh. It's perfect, right? Like life's so shaky for all of us right now. So why don't we just invite that into our practice? Invite messy, invite shaky, invite in I don't friggin' know. Palms press. Foot presses into leg, leg presses into foot, okay? Interlace your fingers if you want. Press straight up. Arms are going to squeeze alongside your ears. Squeeze your right leg. Relax your jaw. Part of your body is strong and the lower for that foundation. It's like building a house on a rock, and other parts of you can be softer. Bring your hands to your heart. Bring your foot to the ground. Jump back on your mat. Bend your knees. Sit your ass in your fire. Shift the weight back so it's in your heels. Stretch up. Exhale. You're going to take a twist. We could have done this before, but it just came to me. So you're going to press your left elbow outside your right knee, or you can take your forearms across your front thighs and stretch your arm up. Pull your chest up as you breathe in. It'll lift up. As you breathe out, it'll roll you open. Release. You're already down here, so why not? Just grab big toes with your peace fingers. So your first 2 fingers slide right between your big and your middle toe. Your thumbs lock around. You're gonna bend your knees a lot, and you're gonna push your butt like it's toward the back, into the back wall. Pull your chest and spine out on the inhale. And the out breath, fold. Sigh it out. Take some of the load off. Breathe in. There's so much news out there. I'm going to speak to this while you're in a forward fold. Hopefully your nervous system's feeling a little bit calmer, even if you were already calm to start. But there's so much news out there. It can be pretty frightening, and it's coming at us all the time. And when the shelves are still empty, and we can't find a single Clorox wipe in sight, and the longer this stretches out, the more we're like, okay, I've hung out in this for a while, but what's really going on? The truth is to a degree, all that stuff can just scare ourselves to death. There's gotta be room for you to pay attention to the news, know what the heck's going on in your world, in my world. There's gotta be a little room for something other than stressing out, being afraid. And that's so much easier said than done. And I think we need to invite the parts of our lives, the parts of ourselves we struggle with, and just sort of soften into them. Not make them wrong. You want to get armed with knowledge, and yet when that stuff is pretty scary, it's so easy to armor up. There's a lot of strength in being vulnerable and saying, I don't want to just hold this all and, hold on to this in my mind. Yeah, you're still in the forward bend, so am I. Bend your knees more if your hamstrings are feeling it. Press your chest into your thighs. Sweep up. And start. I'm going to have you just stretch out a little more. I'm going to have you interlace your fingers at your low back. And then I want you to press your arms away. Your feet are hip width apart. And you want to find the action of your butt not sticking up, but your tailbone dropping a little down. Press your arms away. And then think about it. Squeeze your shoulder blades in toward each other. Squeeze your arms toward each other. Then you're going to separate your feet out to a straddle. You're going to press through the outer edges of the feet. Squeeze up your legs. Press your chest up. Empty the breath. You're going to fold halfway. You're going to consciously really press your glutes back. Pull your chest and spine out. Empty all the breath out. Fold. Eyes on one point. You keep your eyes not locked on something, not a hard stare, and not checked out at all. But your gaze is an anchor to stay tuned into breath. Really let those exhales come all the way through. It's not about pumping your fist toward the floor. It's just letting the exhale soften up the middle back and shoulders. And then you're going to grab onto your ankles. Or maybe your shins. You're going to lift up halfway. You're going to fold. It's like you're lifting your hips. Bend your knees a bit too. It's okay. You're lifting your buttocks up toward the ceiling. While pushing your feet right strong through the floor. You're going to walk your hands over to the front edge of your mat. You're going to turn your right foot out or facing forward. You're going to take this knee down. You're going to take a block if you have it, or whatever you got, for some support, and you're going to make sure that wrist is underneath the shoulder. You're going to inhale. You're going to take your right arm up. You're going to exhale, roll open. You're going to come on back. And then just take that back leg straight back behind you. Take your block in front of you, Or just bring your forearms to the floor. And you're just doing like a half lizard here. Remember, you don't have to like every pose, by the way. You might not always like me in some of these poses that come up pretty intense. If possible though, turn your front foot out to like 1, 2 o'clock. Maybe the sole of your foot comes off the floor. Maybe it's like, no, that's not happening. And just work with whatever you've got and not seeing the limitations as places to just stop, but places to work with. And not acting like they're not there either. Bring yourself back up. Take that leg straight back. Bring the block to the side, down dog. Walk it out a bit. And then you're just gonna walk up. And somehow we're gonna get right into this on the other side. I'd like you to bring your hands to your hips. And I'm gonna have you press your butt straight back and pull your chest and spine out. And then press through these outer edges of the feet and the inner legs, press into the outer legs. So inner shins, press into the outer shins, inner thighs, press into the outer. You get it, right? Lift halfway up. Empty out, fold. Rock forward a little more, hugging your core. All the air's gotta just be squeezed right out. You know, just kind of think like a waffle maker, a panini maker. Press it out. It's a funny thing, right? You free the exhale and you come closer to yourself. But you come closer to something other than the stressed out you, the worried you, the doubting you, the fretful you, or the part of you that lacks confidence. You free up the exhalations and you come closer to a deeper part of yourself than just your regular day-to-day personality self. There's more to you in there, you know. Bring yourself up. Take this front foot, turn it forward. Take this knee down. Set the block up. Right hand under the right shoulder. Sweep up. Big exhale is gonna move you into a gentle twist, belly to spine. Take the arm a little lower too if you need to practice letting your shoulders find their way back home on your back. Come on back. Oh, we need that block. If you have one, use it. Set it up. Let the exhale be what softens your hips toward the floor. It's not just the pose by itself. You gotta exhale out. If you can, turn that front foot toward like 10, somewhere in there. Maybe it's nowhere near 10 o'clock, and that's okay. You're not looking for perfection. You're looking for what's going to be perfect for your body with the limitations. Trust me, yoga teachers have a lot of physical limitations too. Why do you think we offer this practice? Drop your head. Drop your eyes. Let your gaze go soft. Softly exhale out. Bring yourself back up. Set the block aside. You're going to take the front edge of your mat. We're going to take one camel. So you're going to take the front edge of your mat. You're going to fold it a few times. You're going to come onto your knees, hip width. You're going to come onto the balls of your feet. I can actually, well, let's see. Yeah, I can show you this from the side a bit. So hip width apart. If you have that block, grab it. or grab one of those books on your shelf that you tell yourself all the time you're going to read. Maybe now in your COVID stay at home quarantine time, you actually pull one of those books off the shelf. Bring your hands first off to your low back. Notice I made a move like I was going from my feet, but no. You gotta bring it back to support. So in your camel, it's so important to really support your low back. But here's the thing, your knees are underneath your hips, which you want to make sure the spine feels supported by your legs. So I'm going to have you squeeze the block to tailbone down a little bit. And then just let your palms press your hips and thighs forward. Let your elbows squeeze in toward each other. Like I'm going to lower my hands, and it's me touching my own butt, so it's not creepy. But you're going to press. Find that right place and then press. Elbows toward each other, shoulder blades into each other. Head goes back if your neck's okay with it. Otherwise, chin toward chest. Be here. If you wanted, you could reach back and grab just one heel and then one arm up, or you can take both. It's up to you. It's your practice, and you've been with your body your whole life. So you really want to honor that, like work with your limitations and start meeting them as an ally. Start meeting them like they're a scared small child. You wouldn't hammer at them. You wouldn't hammer yourself for having whatever it is. You work with it. We're going to come up. You're going to unroll your yoga red carpet. You're going to come on down. We're going to start to unwind. You're going to bring the soles of your feet together. Your knees are going to be out to the sides. You're going to grab onto your ankles. You're going to pull your chest up, sit up nice and tall. Now the way you're going to sit up nice and tall is by pressing your buttocks, your legs, your hips into the floor. When you do that, there's a natural whoop for your spine. Breathe in. Press your shoulders back. Let your navel lead. Beautiful forward. Every time you breathe in, your chest will lift away from the ground. Every time you breathe out, it lowers. Move all the air out and you go a little lower. And that's how you're going to retrieve, little by little, some of the natural flexibility you owned all the way through, like all along. You're going to inhale, you're going to feel yourself lift. You're going to empty out, fold. Don't worry about how far you go. I'd like you to just really press the air out, and your body will take you into the perfect spot for you, for your spine, for your low back, for your hamstrings, for your hips. You're going to bring yourself all the way up. And then you're going to take your legs out in front of you. You're going to bend your knees a lot. And before you reach forward, you're going to lean to the left. You're going to take your right palm. You're just going to kind of pull the flesh of your right thigh and buttock out toward the wall behind you. Same thing, other side. You're going to flex your feet. You're going to inhale, reach up. You're going to exhale. That's the cue for the upper body. The upper body is listening. Right there, you pause. Inhale, you'll feel your whole upper body lift itself. And all that air is going out. And the fold that is good for you finds you. Every time you exhale, you free up tension in the physicality. Just peeling layers. We're not going to undo it all in one shot, but it's so good when we can find some breathing room, even in our tight spots. A little bit of release brings so much relief. And it works on something on the inside of you, not just the outside. Breath in and breath out. When we struggle to breathe and when the breath sits high in our chest, which in the middle of a pandemic where it's just, on the news and social media all the time, it's so easy to keep the fight or flight switch, if you will, on. And we wonder why we struggle to sleep. We wonder why we were restless. We start getting some deeper breaths and really flushing out the breath. We start shutting off the fight or flight. We move into the parasympathetic. And that allows us to show up in a relaxed and centered way with the right amount of focus and the right dose of presence, of calm. Our job is, as a practice, is can we sustain it? And if you've been in fight or flight quite a while, just feeling like things can be even okay, or like things can be okay, that can feel a little edgy to trust. It's not easy to come out of a grip state. It just isn't. And when we're in that grip state, we are holding our breath. We're not even in tune with it, because in our deeper tension, we disconnect. Just breathe out. Just breathe in. Bring yourself up nice and slow. Make your way out onto your back. You're going to draw your right knee into your chest as you squeeze the air out. You're going to flex that right foot, okay? You're going to inhale, let up a little bit. You're going to exhale, left hand to right knee, arm out. Close your eyes. When we start to shift out of a choppy or erratic, or just holding the breath, knee into chest. Take that leg out on the ground. Stretch it out. Let it land. Left knee hug it in. When our breathing starts getting more fluid, we start realizing, oh, the practice kind of does me. Right hand to left knee. Bring that foot down. So open up the left arm like a wing. Empty the breath. Twist. And then you start to realize, well, the practice is doing me because my breathing is doing itself. One more, breathe in. Close your eyes. Breathe out. Bring your knee back in. Plug both knees in. You're going to take some knee circles so the hands are on the tops of the knees. And you're going to press out. And then you're going to pull in. Hug it tight as you breathe out.
wrist away, pull in, count that, so go in the opposite direction. Dead bug. Knees are bent, ankles over the knees. You could grab the outer edges of your feet, but if you're really tight in the groin, I'd probably start with hands on the lower legs, or you could grab the ankles. Do what's going to work for you though. Breathe in, you're lengthening your tailbone toward the floor. You're lengthening your chin down towards your chest. I have a hair clip in, so it's a little difficult, but yeah. Now when you breathe in, let up on, like I said, let up on the gas a little bit. Legs away from the sides of your ribs. And then when you breathe out, that's the cue to press down. But it's not a yank. It's just unfolding. Again, every bit of every exhalation you've let go of up to right now in the practice freed up your body, the musculature, so you can be where you're at right here, right now. And you're just going to take Happy Baby, you're going to rock side to side. Then you're going to bring your knees together, and then you're going to rock up. And then you're going to rock back. You're going to pull your core in, you're going to rock up. And you're going to rock back. You're going to rock up. And then you're going to take your right leg up and keep a little bend in the knee though. Take the left leg up. One arm out. Two arms out. Hugging your core. The trick is you don't want to sag into your low back, you know, and it's not always easy. But you're going to pull that belly in. You're going to press your hips down. And you're going to sit up tall as you can. You can bend your knees, grab your big toes. You don't have to though, it's just options. And take that left arm straight back. Catch hold. Grab your big toes. Maybe you're just here. Or maybe you're here. And then you just keep practicing, you keep breathing. You just keep working with your body, limitations, the whole of it. And then one day, you're in that place that you're like, oh, I've been trying to get there. You're gonna bring your feet down. You're just gonna take tabletop at your, if you have tight shoulders, I would turn your fingers out to the sides. Get your feet right underneath your knees. So you have a lot of power in your legs. You want to activate all of it. If your legs or your feet are out ahead of you, try to press up way too hard on the spine. So you get your feet underneath you to support your spine. Your spine will feel a lot more supported if it's like you got stability in the legs, okay? Press your hips toward the front wall. Pull your heart toward the back wall. Let your head go back if you're cool with that. Come on down. You're going to cross this left leg, or take this left leg in. You're going to take this right foot over. You're going to sit up super tall by pressing your buttocks into the floor. You're going to take your left elbow. You're going to take your right fingers to the floor behind you. You're going to sit up tall by pressing down. Natural lift in the spine. It will do its own lifting. Twist. You exhale. Your body's like, I'll do the twist. Give all the exhale, like hand over everything you got. And you twist. Keep your legs just as you have them. Just counter it.
switch it up. Again, press down. Your chest will lift. Don't worry about how far you're twisting, and definitely don't yank. Just let your exhale lead. Keep your legs as you have them. Just counter it. And if you find like, oh, that's a good spot, hang out there for a sec, but breathe in it. Come on back. Legs out in front of you. Sit up nice and tall. Pull the flesh out again if you need to. One more, reach up. Empty the breath. Arms are going to cross. You're going to grab opposite hand to opposite ankle or leg. Breath in. Move it all through. Put your hands up. Make your way back onto your back. If you have a tight lower back, I want you to walk your feet back up. I want you to press your feet into the floor. You're going to let your hips lift the leg a little bit and lengthen your low back toward the front edge of your mat. If you really have a tight back, I want your feet super wide and your knees to just fall into each other. Bring one hand to your lower belly, one hand to your heart. If your legs feel okay, your back feels pretty good, just slide your legs out on the floor. If you decide, well, it felt pretty good, but now I feel kind of stiff or tense, then just find what works for you. Find the option in Shavasana that works for you. I'd like you to take your right hand now to your forehead center. I'd like you to take your left hand to the back of your head. I'd like your eyes to close. Your palm, your fingers on the right hand is just going to really wrap around and cradle your forehead. You don't have to practice breathing. Your legs are out in front of you. You can let your legs and feet fall apart. Your palm right across your forehead. Your eyes closed. We've stretched you out. We've lengthened you. We've wrung you out, twisted, flung out the organs, the digestive system. Maybe through this practice there's something you've been struggling to swallow or digest. So now that feels a little more settling. I'm not just talking food. I'm talking something you're stressed out by, you're worried by. Just letting some of the emotional energy wring itself out. It sits in the body. You've done all this. Loosened up the upper mid back, did a lot of forward bends, opened up the hips a little bit, the backs of the legs, opened up the chest. You've done all this so you could feel more at peace in your Shavasana. So I invite you to stay here as long as you like. Keep your palm across your forehead. I want you to stay on your mat until you know you have to roll it up. And I want you to take that peace with you into the rest of your day, into the rest of the evening. And I want you to notice if you're really feeling at peace in a deeper way, it feels more sustainable, more grounding. That's why. It's a benefit to this practice, not just the look of it on the outside, or yoga butt, or strengthen your abs, all that stuff's lovely. But to be able to show up, just feeling good and feeling at peace, relaxed, recharged and refreshed and hopeful, more than likely God's going to put someone in your path who isn't feeling that way. And maybe you're going to help bring them through some of the chaotic moment they're in. Could be someone you know, might not be. More than likely, if you're getting any benefit to this practice, God is going to make sure that you share this peace with your family at home. I do know that if you can find more breathing room inside, you'll be more relaxed and you're going to automatically make people in your home feel it's safe to breathe around you. That could change the destiny of a person. It's not just their day or their evening, but their life. In that moment. So take your yoga into COVID, take it into your home quarantine. The world needs it. Stay as long as you like on your mat. I hope I see you again soon. Namaste, namaste, namaste.